2024 Toyota Land Cruiser in smoke blue, and also a Rivian R1S quad motor. Today we are going to be comparing both of these. Hybrid powertrain, fully electric powertrain. I just drove my Rivian R1T across the country, so we'll talk about charging, horsepower, space within the car, and how they drive, and we'll come up with some sort of opinion at the end. So the Land Cruiser has a 2.4 liter hybrid powertrain, 325 horsepower, and 465 pound-feet of torque. It's actually a peppy engine, gets 22 miles per gallon in the city and 25 miles per gallon on the highway. So I was actually pretty impressed with how this thing feels off the line. It's not really fast, but it has enough power to keep you satisfied around town and when merging. Now moving over to the Rivian, it has a frunk up here, and that's because the batteries are all underneath. Now, this is a huge storage area. You can store things, and underneath here, you can have your charging cable, but there's also a drain plug down here if you want to throw ice, maybe throw some chicken wings and beers in to go watch the Steelers win the Super Bowl. So you can do that. So a lot of storage up front here in the Rivian. It's also automatic up and down. Now, the other thing, now people are going to say, you can't compare them. They don't cost the same. First of all, I'll compare this to a roller skate. I don't care, I'll make the comparison. There's already some cost cutting here. Now, in all fairness, the Land Cruiser starts at $55,000. This starts at, clear that out. Long weekend. This starts at $75,000, but this can be built up to $75,000 in some of the variants. This specific one is $69,000. So they can get up in price really quick. They can get up to the starting price of the R1S, and they're similar sizes. So as far as a luxury feature here, there's not even hydraulics in the hood, so it's all like up to you and everything like that. So again, not that you're going to be opening the hood a ton and everything, but just like small differences already in how things are open. Now the charge port is right here in the Rivian, so there's that, and that's how that all works. More onto the interior. Now the interior on this Land Cruiser is beautiful. But you know what else is beautiful? This olive green basic t-shirt from INTOTHEAM.com. These t-shirts are extremely comfortable. I use them to work out, to go out. They even have activewear t-shirts that you can use for going to the gym or playing sports outside. So go to INTOTHEAM.com. You can get a 3-pack of these and stack on code Gjeebs to save an additional 10%. It breaks down to $17.99 per t-shirt. INTOTHEAM's been partnered with my channel for over 4 years now. I sincerely appreciate their support. You guys have bought a ton of their stuff, and they've continued to offer discounts through my code. So use code Gjeebs, INTOTHEAM.com, 3-pack to start out. Look, ladies, if you're watching and your husband doesn't know you're watching, let's do Christmas shopping now. Let's get it out of the way. Because then you can say, did you get me anything for Christmas yet? And he says, and you got the upper hand. So INTOTHEAM.com, code Gjeebs. Now back to the interior of the Land Cruiser. Now, this has Toyota's Softex seats, and they are heated and ventilated. And you can see there's a little extender here, give you a little extension on those longer road trips. These seats are incredibly comfortable. Again, heated, cooled, 14-way adjustable with 1 and 2 memory package on here. So the seats are incredibly comfortable. Steering wheel, pretty standard. Everything looks good here. Standard Toyota digital dash, and we also have Apple CarPlay. There's a ton of off-road features here that most of the Land Cruiser owners will never use because they will be picking up their kids from school, and that's fine, you know? You gotta flex in the, when mom shows up, she's gotta look good, and this is part of that. So overall, the interior on this thing, for what it costs, is very well done. And I always look at touch points. You have to look at the areas you're going to be touching a lot in the vehicle. So where your butt is going to be sitting is very important, and they've done an excellent job with these seats. Being in Phoenix, cooled seats are almost a must. The other thing I recommend with any Toyota that you purchase, the ones that I've tested over the years, the JBL audio system is actually excellent and worth the upcharge, whatever it is on any vehicle. It actually adds a really nice full sound to the vehicle. Without that, it could be kind of hollow. I think you're going to want it. But we got to see what the seating position is like. Now, this car only seats 5. All Rivian R1Ss can seat 7 people. I thought this was going to be a 7-seater. It's not. The Lexus GX550 I just tested, they're based loosely on the same thing. So I just assumed that this was a 3-row SUV. It's not. Let's see what we kind of got for space in the back. Yeah. Plenty of space back here. You don't have a fully panoramic roof on this model, but you do have the AC up here And the weird thing is, there's even AC for the third row. Now, dog owners will say, well, that's for my Pookie. So that's fine. But there's also cup holders and USB-C ports in the trunk. So I actually had to like pull the mat up and make sure that there was no third row, but they do not make a third row for this. The other thing you have in the back is you have your 12 volt there, you have 2 USB-C ports, and that's that. No rear heated seats or anything like that. These fold down flat. So overall, you got a decent amount of space in the back, and you have a ton of trunk space as well. So the interior of the Land Cruiser, again, starts at $55,000, can go up to $75,000 or $80,000 plus, but it's well done. It's more on the Lexus side of things than the Toyota side of things. I think they've done a really nice job with materials. In this smoke blue color with the two-tone roof, black handles, like, that's really well done. This is an option that Porsche does. You can choose what color you want your door handles to be. So to be getting this on a Toyota, different accent packages, I think is really well done and lets you be a little bit more unique. This R1S interior is equally as cool. Now, this interior is Rivian's Forest Edge. It is gorgeous. It's a tint of green. It's been a while since I've been to the edge of the forest, so I guess this is what it looks like now. But it's just really well done. And then the walnut looking wood, and it's got real grain to it. It's extremely well done. Heated and cooled seats up front, heated seats in the back, and it also has a third row. You can also see the Alcantara roof liner matching the seats with this strip up the middle here. It's just a gorgeous interior. The steering wheel, everything is really well appointed in here, but it's also a totally different feel, much more airy, a ton more space up here. Your cup holders pop in and out there. 2 wireless charging pads. You have the camp speaker located down here. So you can see where these costs are starting to add up. Now, the other thing I need to talk about that's important is this is a software-based vehicle. So let's get those cooled seats on. The grundle's heating up, but this is a software-based vehicle, and all of your controls come through here, and this can constantly be updated. So currently has graphics from Unreal Engine. It looks incredible, and they are able to add features and change things. So you can see the ride field's currently on moderate. You can go to moderate, you can put it in soft or firm, and they've enhanced this over time. So since my friend has bought this car, they've enhanced the feel of the suspension. They've added features here like the quick controls. They've added blind spot detection where the camera pops up. So they've done all of these things that didn't initially come with the car, and having a software-based vehicle is very powerful in that sense. Whereas Toyota doesn't have that. Yes, you do have your Apple CarPlay, which this does not have, and people love Apple CarPlay, but there will be no new features added to that. It just is what it is. When the new one comes out, there will be new features, and you won't get it in that one. When the new Rivians come out, you will get features added to this. They just released an update to where the ambient lighting, instead of it only being white in here, you can now choose what color themes you want to go throughout the vehicle. That did not come with the car. Now it's a feature that through Wi-Fi, you add it to your car and it's good to go. And I think that is incredible. So we are in, I'm gonna mess up her seating position, sorry. Again, I'm 6 feet tall, also known as 5'12". I think this is a decent, there you go. Pretty good. Let's see what the back seat looks like, and then let's see what the third row looks like. Okay, so back seat, plenty of space back here, and also we have a screen, 2 USB-C outlets. You have control over the music, whatever you want the music to do. You can turn on your heated seats. The other thing that's really cool, and you can even lock the screen, or sorry, you can lock the car. I thought that was the screen. Wow. It's a little too much power for the backseat people. The other thing that you can do back here that's really cool is if you're on a road trip and you have your destination typed into the infotainment up there, you're able to see a progress bar back here that shows how much further until your trip and all that type of stuff. So I think that that's actually a nice feature to keep the people in the back seats entertained. You have a fully panoramic roof, and you have panoramic roof back here, even for the third row people. So Rivian cares about the peasants that have been thrown way into the back of the vehicle, which is very nice. All right, let's get into the back of this thing. Also, if you're not aware, if you're watching this right now, Rivian just had released their referral program. So if you use my referral code, which I will have linked in the description, you will get $750 in credit to use in the gear shop, or you can use that toward actually getting a new Rivian. So I 100% recommend using someone's referral code, whether that's mine or a friend's or whoever. I'd appreciate if you used mine, but whatever. It's not a big deal. I mean, I'm worried about it. It's not a big deal. But you should absolutely use a referral code to get that credit. You can buy some incredible things in the gear shop and whatever. Into the third row we go. Oh, lock me up, daddy. So we're into the back seat now. I've done this before. You know, 2 6-foot people could sit in the back maybe for a 30-minute ride. You'd have to like get this seat more vertical. So yes, you can do it. Again, having this back here is nice, but also I'm cooking. You do have AC vents back here. You have a cup holder, and you also have a USB-C port and some storage down here to stow your phone away and actually spend time and talk with the people that are in the vehicle. Get your head out of your phone, okay? As you're all watching this video on a phone, get your head out of your phone. So overall, you do have enough space back here. It's probably more for little kids and hauling around town, and you'll be fine. But it has a third row. It can fold flat. There's a ton of storage. There's a large bin in the rear back here. So you still have some storage where it's not like that, you know, 6 inches of space where you can do nothing in 3-row SUVs. It's actually a decent amount of space back there still. So that's the third row on the R1S. The other unique feature on the interior of the Land Cruiser, cool box. I love this thing. These are legit. I mean, it gets ice cold. There'll be frost around here. The cool box is a nice feature, useful. You don't really use this space anyways. You could use this area up here to store things. The cool box is a nice use of space. The other big difference is these both have great off-road capability. That does have an air suspension that can raise it up and give you a ton of clearance, or drop it down into sport mode. That is a much quicker vehicle. But let's take the Land Cruiser for a quick drive, talk about how it feels, and then we'll jump into the Rivian. Now, driving the Land Cruiser, like I said earlier, it's nice. It's nice from lower speeds. It's very comfortable to be in these seats. And the other thing to note is this is a 5,000-pound car. The Rivian is about a 7,000-pound car. This has a 6,000-pound towing capacity. The Rivian has a 7,700-pound towing capacity. So there are a few differences there, but it's amazing how significantly lighter this is. We'll get a little rip off the line. Yeah, I mean, it gets up and gets going. 325 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. So a lot of torque there, decent amount of horsepower out of a 4-cylinder. It feels peppy, like it's nice. Now, we'll show you what that does later. That's ridiculous. But overall, the driving position is nice. You have great visibility all around the vehicle. And even when you're in parking lots, now this is a big, intimidating vehicle, but it's fairly narrow, and the turning radius is nice. You can get in and out of parking spaces pretty easily. I think you will get used to it very quickly. It's not that big of a deal. Really nice display here, digital display. Now, the one complaint I have is Toyota's infotainment systems are very shallow. There's just not much to them, not a lot of information. But that's kind of how gas-powered cars are. With electric vehicles, you want more information on the efficiency and how charging is going and all of that. But I can't even say that Rivian has that in-depth of a infotainment system. It's fairly surface. They're both good, but it's not going to blow you away. So I think they're both good systems, but not crazy. You do have a lot of buttons here in the Toyota, but it's all general stuff. The defrosting of the front and the rear, your heated and cooled seats, auto climate control, all that type of stuff. And then you have a lot of switches for your off-roading features, your center locking differential, push into low 4, high 4, all that type of stuff. Looks like you can lock up the rear diff, lock up the center diff. You can turn traction control off, stabilization bar, all that stuff that doesn't really interest me, but there's other videos out there that can fill you in on that information. This does have Toyota Safety Assist 3.0, and it also has dynamic cruise control, so you can adapt how far you want to follow the person in front of you, and it has lane keep assist, so you can just kind of rest your hand on the wheel here and let the car control itself, which will reduce fatigue on longer road trips. That also has Rivian's Driver Plus feature, and that works well on the big roads as you travel across the country. But yeah, as I accelerate there and I'm pushed back into the seat, very nice soft shoulder support here. Really, my favorite thing on the interior is the seats. The color of them I think is really nice, and the feel and how you're sitting up really high in the vehicle. Overall, the Land Cruiser, they've done a nice job, I think, of continuing on what made the Land Cruiser great in this newer version. Now, the other car to look to if you want more luxury features is the Lexus GX 550, which I just drove. I loved that thing. Now, one thing I hated about the Lexus was the efficiency, and this seems to be doing the same thing. So I've driven this about 115 miles, and I'm at a half tank of gas. So only getting like 250 miles of range out of this thing in the real world is abysmal. That's nowhere close its rated efficiency of 22 city and 25 miles per gallon on the highway. So this is really bad. And we talk about electric vehicles being bad and inefficient on range. I can tell you that Rivians deliver even at highway speeds. The difference is you can fill this up in 5 minutes and be on your way, and that you're sitting and charging for between 15 and 35 minutes, depending on what charger you're at across the country. Sometimes it's 45 minutes. In my cross-country trip, that was the case. Now, charging was fine, but you know, I did a 2,000-mile trip, it added 6.5 hours of just sitting there and charging. So it's just something to consider. But if you're driving from Phoenix, I'm having trouble speaking today. I don't know what the issue is. If you're driving from Phoenix to Las Vegas, you can get pretty close to making it in just one charge. I bet if you actually drove the speed limit the whole way there, you could make it without charging. But overall, yeah, it's just a lot easier on road trips with this. More convenient. Gas stations are everywhere. 5 minutes, you're back on the road. So now that we've talked about what it's like driving the Land Cruiser, let's hop in the Rivian R1S and see what that's like. All right, so driving the Rivian R1S, this does 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds. So like, you floor this thing, and it's absurd that a 7,000-pound vehicle can move that quickly and as agile as it is. And that's the big thing with electric vehicles, is the driving dynamics of them are so good because the torque is immediate. You can be really precise, whereas in the Land Cruiser, you just can't be as precise. But a lot of people really won't care about that. It's just a big difference in that the slowest Rivian is 4.5 seconds to 60, and that Land Cruiser is, who knows, 7 seconds or whatever. Again, the Land Cruiser isn't slow. I'm just explaining what else are you paying for in this thing. So you have the air suspension, over-the-air updates, ton of power, and again, this has a 3rd row. So you can see why there's such a separation, plus batteries are fairly expensive. There's a pretty big separation in the features that this thing has. Now, driving this while you're on the highway here, I will say that the air suspension thing is good. We're in standard mode right now. It's good. It's smooth. It feels a little bit more planted, whereas the Land Cruiser feels a bit more top heavy. And again, that's because the battery is low. The center of gravity is much lower on this than the Land Cruiser. The cooled seats are working nicely. Air conditioning is working nicely. It's just a really spacious and luxurious interior. But I can't say that it feels way nicer than the Land Cruiser. It just feels luxurious. It feels how it should. And there's also a uniqueness to it. The Alcantara roof liner, things like that you just can't get in a Toyota, you're able to get in this. It's amazing how fast Nissan Altimas are on the road. This also might be a hair quieter on the cabin, and I think that has to do with just the mirrors themselves. The mirrors on the Land Cruiser are like 2 billboards hanging off the side of the car. So that's another difference as well. But the huge thing with this is the speed in the air suspension is so fun to play with and get it in different modes. When you put it in automatic mode, the car automatically lowers itself so it can be more efficient, get a little bit more range out of it to reduce the drag on the tires. So there's little things like that this does, and that's the premium that you're paying for, along with performance. And again, having the over-the-air updates on this over time, making it better and better, has been really nice. So what do I like better? Well, Toyota's done a really nice job of putting a good power plant in a really usable vehicle. It seats 5, has a large trunk to it, and the design of the Land Cruiser is really stunning in my opinion. It's beautiful. It has a retro but updated look. The screens are very nice in it, having Apple CarPlay. Says it has good efficiency. I've not been able to replicate that in the real world. That's been a real deficiency of that vehicle. But overall, sitting in it, it's nice, and I think the Toyota is a huge value, as all Toyotas should be. I just feel like in the Land Cruiser specifically, you're getting almost a Lexus GX 550 with a much less, with a low brow to it. When you drive the Lexus, you drive it like this. You go, away, shoo away from my Lexus. But in the Land Cruiser, you want to be friends with everyone. And I just really like that about the approachability of the Land Cruiser. I think it has a great heritage to it. I think they've done a nice job of continuing that, and I'm a huge fan of it. So I think because of the huge value that the Land Cruiser brings, I think I'd probably go that direction. But if you want power and incredible off-road capabilities while having insane efficiency in a futuristic vehicle, the Rivian is a no-brainer. But the one thing you're going to be wondering is, what's it like to do a road trip in a Rivian? I just completed a cross-country road trip, 2,100 miles. You can watch it in this video right here. I think you'll really enjoy it. If you're going to buy a Rivian, again, my referral code is down in the description.